This here is the newest addition to the lineup. I don't know much about it. I just picked it up at an auction. It came with this boat. I'll show you a clip. This boat was for sale in an auction, and I got it. I won the auction for $2 even. With taxes and auction fees, I paid $2.40. I bought it sight unseen, but for $2.40, obviously it's worth it. The trailer alone is worth a few hundred. The boat is most likely trash. It has a few trees growing out of it. I'm really not interested in doing that project. I don't think it's worth it. But right now, this motor is what interests me. It's something is jammed up. I don't know if it's the lower unit or if everything up here is locked up. Obviously we'll look at it and see, but it's not turning. So the propeller has obviously been destroyed. So that should be neutral. And that's still locked up. All right, so let's play around with this thing. I'm gonna pull the spark plugs out, take a look inside the cylinders, spray a little oil in there, see if I can get it free. Obviously this has been replaced at some point. There's a spider in this one. Or what's left of a spider. So these two spark plugs look like they've been used before. This bottom spark plug looks like it hasn't been run more than a second or two. So this doesn't want to turn at all. Well, I take it back. This wants to turn, but something is catching it. I'm going to drop the lower unit and see if that solves the problem. So these bolts is 1, 2, and 3, 4 on the opposite side. These are 9/16. So I got all 4 bolts out. That one, this one, and this one. There's a bolt here I got to take out here, and when you get this off, there's another one up under here. So I'll do those and then disconnect the shift linkage and drop this thing. So last bolt we have to get out. Before we do that, we're going to do my favorite thing, which is disconnect the shift linkage, so behind these hoses here is where you disconnect the shift rod. So what I'm gonna do is move this one hose out of the way. Maybe. I really wish I could show you what I'm doing, but my camera skills are not that good. If you do need to see what I'm doing, I have a similar video up. It is for a 115 around the same year. And it's a similar process, you just access it from the other side of the motor on the other one.
Exact same process.
Yeah. Makes me want to move. Got it.
Oh wow.
So that's all that is. So now the shift shaft should be free to drop out. All right. Oh, crap. So we got the lower unit off. Let's see if it spins. Ah, bet. Oh.
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 Oh no.
She's a little tight. So we found a rough spot. One of these cylinders is probably not in the best shape. I wish I had a bore scope.
Wouldn't that be nice?
I'm just gonna hook up a breaker bar to this thing and see if we can put some lube in there and see if we can move it around. Yeah, it doesn't like being right there.
Oh yeah.
That didn't sound good. Oh, that's all the way around. There we go.
Yeah, but it keeps messing up that. Is it the same spot?
Yeah.
I'm gonna mark it and try to figure out.
All right, so we know the flywheel is free. So the next thing, I'm gonna start hooking some of the stuff back up to it so that we can check to see if it has spark. If we have spark, make sure the air box is clean and we'll try to bump it, I think. Oh, right. Today is a new day. I yesterday finished getting these power cables run, and we decided I don't have a key for the controls that came with the boat. So I'm going to use a set of controls I already have, which I have run to here. So we've got a battery hooked up. Battery charged last night, lights green currently. So let's see if we can get actually, before we try to bump the starter, I'm going to pull the cover off of the air box just to make sure there's no mice nests inside, and then we'll bump the starter. All right, let's see if it actually turns over. We can actually crank. Okay, so when I turn the key, it's not doing anything. Let's take a closer look. So I've got my meter. Just gonna turn it to read DC voltage real quick. This is my ground wire and my main power wire coming in. And I'm reading 13.7 volts. So we're getting power to the motor. Okay. It's upside down, but at least you can see it. So like I was saying, main ground, main power coming in, 13.7 something volts, which is good. I'm going to hook these up and flip the starter real quick, or flip the ignition switch real quick and see if we get voltage there. I need to clamp this somehow. Hang on. All right, I'm back. I got the ground is clamped on. This way I can reach and do the ignition at the same time. Maybe. All right, so once this thing receives a signal from the ignition, it should close the contact and send a signal to the starter. Therefore, we should read voltage. Read nothing. Okay, so no voltage here. So the problem is getting this power signal from here to this side. Let's see. This is the signal wire that comes from the ignition itself. When I turn the key, it should read voltage. Turn the key now. Nothing at all. Okay. Okay, so suddenly we're not getting anything anymore. I can hit the choke on the ignition and that's not working anymore either. So something is suddenly messed up, and it sounds like a fuse, and the only fuse in this system should be this right here. Which I have blown before, not on this motor, but on other motors. Yeah. I don't know if you can see it, but it is blown. I don't have one of these because who keeps these? Let me see if I can find a different fuse. All right, so I didn't have the exact same fuse to replace it with, but I do have one that I can use to make work for now. So this apparently is a 20 amp fuse that was in there. I have a 30, which yes, I know it's higher than 20. It was in there, but this is what I have. So if we do get this thing working, we'll add that to the list of things that we need to fix on it. All right, so let's see. Let's test the choke again. Yep, we got the choke back. Still nothing when I hit the switch. Let's check. I lost my ground. All right, cleaned up the post a little bit, and so with the switch on, we are getting the signal, but we're still not getting this thing to fire up. I'm going to bang it with a hammer a few times and see if that fixes it. If not, we're gonna have to replace that. All right, so yeah, I tapped on it a few times and it's still not working. So it's okay. We know we need to replace this. I will order one possibly. First, I'm gonna check the compression. First, I'm gonna check and see if we have spark, and then I'll check the compression in the cylinders. I'll just jump the starter. I saw a spark on these two. Let's see on this one. Yep, got spark on all three. That's good. Let's check the compression now. It's at 90. So this one's at 110. I don't like that gap in the compression. That's at 110 also. So this top cylinder is the only outlier. All right, so what I think I'm gonna do now is, I have another one of these on a different motor. I'm gonna pull this one off, swap it out. Since we have everything kind of hooked up, I'm going to go a little bit farther. We'll hook up some fuel and see if it starts, question mark. So the last tags on this thing were from 2007, so if the carburetors are good, I'll be amazed.
Yeah. That's gonna be a negative. Is
Okay.
it spitting out there?
Just saw okay. So the fuel just came out of the something
Oh yeah.
on there, so obviously there's a float stuck, at least on one of the carburetors. It was the top carburetor I saw. It doesn't matter, we're still gonna try to run it.
She wet.
Today is a new day. I lost the footage. I actually cranked over the motor yesterday and it actually did fire up, but I lost the footage, so I'm gonna do it again just for continuity's sake. But we do know that it will fire. Try it with choke. Oops, had the throttle advance. Sweet. So it does fire. I think the carburetors need to be rebuilt. But it will fire, so that's a good sign. Alright, so we got the motor all ready. We're going to take the carburetors off and clean those off. First, I'm going to take the airbox off. Looks like it's held on by a few flathead screws, which I despise flathead screws, by the way. got the one carburetor back together. I want to do the same thing with the other carburetors. That last carburetor was extremely clogged up. I had to pull out the old sewing kit in order to get that thing free. I probably could have soaked it, but I'm too impatient to wait around for that. So I used a needle to clear out all the jets, but I think I got it. Putting it back together now, and I'll put it back on the motor. Choke is working. Let's see. Run it with choke. I killed it because the throttle, I don't know if you can see that, the throttle for the timing linkage came unhooked. So that fell off. All right, let's try it again. Okay. Whew, it's smoky. So it looks like it'll run. We'll concentrate on the lower unit next time. See you then.